two Chicago gentlemen actively working to better their communities. Pastor Corey Brooks of Project Hood and Keith Thornton Jr., a 911 dispatcher and founder of Heal Chicago. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Pastor Brooks, known you for a while. Brother, you've been on top of the roof trying to get funding for the community center to have prevention there. Let's go to the leaders. Do you think they care about addressing the issue?
You know, I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. We have to take the good and the bad. When things are not going well, we have to take responsibility and be accountable for that. Oftentimes in our city, when things are not going well, you see leadership trying to step aside and put the blame somewhere else. But we have to tell them and continue to let them know that you can't just have it when it's all sunshine. You have to also take the rain as well. So that's the reason why it's important that people in our community, when they get the opportunity and they see that leaders are not doing the things that they are supposed to do, then we should do what we're supposed to do, and that's vote them out of office. But definitely everything rises and falls on leadership in the city of Chicago.
So true. Keith, you know, I've been covering this story for over 4 years, going out there talking with people. And I think there's a common misconception that the people of Chicago don't care. They've been begging for help. You get the calls every day from the people begging for help. But they're not going to go out there and turn someone over to the police if the DA is going to release them within 24 hours, sir.
You know, you already covered Kim Foxx. She's got to go. The mayor, she's got to go. You know, the reality is here within the city of Chicago, including myself, police officers, firefighters, people who work, pastors, you have people who are clerk workers at gas stations. They are in fear for their lives. We have PTSD, driving down the street, stopping at stop signs and red lights. I'm afraid of who's pulling up on the side of me. You know, it's so bad here. You're keeping your head on a swivel. And so you go down to what's the problem here in Chicago. It's three main problems for me, and I'm talking about criminals need to be held accountable. Well, these officers are out there, they're trying the best they can. They're bare bones, and they're working their days off. Everything's canceled, but they're out there doing their jobs because this mayor makes them do that, and they do it. But when these officers are bringing these criminals in, they're right back out the next day. That's problem number one. Number two, the programs and different things, like this wonderful pastor here, he's done so many great things of stepping out of the box. What the politicians should be doing, he's doing, and other people within the community. And number three, really quick, these politicians got to go. And it starts with, I don't call her a leader. She's not a leader. It's the mayor. She's got to go.
So true. Pastor, I want to talk about the federal response to this. So often we see when there's a mass shooting, there's a federal response to it. Everyone gets on board. But this is happening every single day in Chicago, and there is no response. Here's the FBI director. This is what he had to say. Watch.
More and more, some of the worst offenders, one way or another, continue to find themselves back out on the street. And if there's anything more frustrating to a law enforcement officer than putting a bad guy behind bars who should have been behind bars, it's putting the same bad guy behind bars over and over again.
What say you, Pastor?
Well, you know, I believe that the same type of compassion, the same type of heartfelt sympathy that other places are feeling, like Highland Park, and let me say this, Highland Park should get all the compassion, they should get all of the prayers, but the places like Chicago on the South Side and West Side, we should get the same thing. We're not asking anyone to do anything different, just do the same things that you do in other places. And we realize that oftentimes on some people with their agenda, if it's not an AR-15 involved, if it's not people who have greater means involved, then it's overlooked. And in Chicago, there is no doubt about it that communities on the South Side and West Side are overlooked consistently and continually, habitually. That's why we continue to have these issues over and over again, and we're going to continue to have them.
So true. Keith, I just got to ask you, because I don't know what it's like to answer these calls. I know what it is to meet with families after their loved one has died. But what is it like getting these calls every single day, every single weekend?
Well, you know, all across the country, it's going on forever. You know, we get 911 emergencies all day long, whether it's fire, police, or paramedics needed. That's my job. So I don't have to compliment on that because that's never going to change. But what needs to change and what affects me and other employees within this city and other large cities going through this crisis is I know that when I say and hang up and say I have someone coming to you, that's not always the case. There are some districts here with so few officers where they are waiting up to hours because officers are not out there. They're handling something else, and the calls are just overwhelming and high demand. You have police officers leaving this job not the career. They're going to other departments and leaving here because there's a problem here. And the problem is the politicians that look like me with black skin and the politicians that looks like Latinos with brown skin, the main politicians within the city council, most of them, not all, but most of them do not care about the people that they are serving that are the same ethnicity and race as themselves. And I'm tired of it, and we're tired of it.
It's unbelievable. They use that to get elected, and then when we need them the most, they just abandon us. Some got to change, some got to give. Pastor Keith, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.